Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stogie Geeks News for August 21st, 2015. I'm your host, Paul Dorian, joined on the lines via Skype by Mr. Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Paul, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. Excited to talk about the news for this week. You have curated three stories out of all the news going on in the cigar world this week. You have chosen three stories to talk about, so I'm very anxious to see which ones have caught your interest for this episode.
Yep. And I think we'll start off with one that's kind of near and dear to us in a way, being that we are Avo cigar enthusiasts and fans of the brand.
I think they call that fanboys, Will. I think that's the appropriate term for it.
I hope we're not in the fanboy category, but I think we're honest to say we really do enjoy Avo cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And at the IPCPR trade show, and actually just before, it was announced that the Avo cigar line would be introducing its first Nicaraguan centric blend, if you may, called the Avo Syncro Nicaragua. It's a few firsts in there. In that, for the first thing, it is going to be a regular production in a box press. Now, Avo has released a box press before with the first TAA cigar they did, but they don't have an ongoing regular production line as far as a box press goes. And then the other thing that they're doing is they're incorporating a significant amount of Nicaraguan tobacco into the blend, which again has really only been seen on the limited edition with the Avo Classic covers earlier this year. So they're going to have Ometepe tobacco in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the blend is actually cool. It's a Connecticut Ecuador wrapper, Dominican binder, and then it's a combination of the Ometepe Nicaraguan tobacco, some Piloto and San Vicente, as well as Olor for Dominican, and a little bit of Peruvian in there.
Piloto is Nicaraguan?
Piloto is Dominican.
Is Dominican, okay.
Dominican,
and
yes.
Ometepe is Nicaraguan.
Ometepe is Nicaraguan,
Gotcha.
and that's the island in Lake Nicaragua. That it's volcanic, so
okay, yep.
growing tobacco.
Yep.
On there.
I gotcha.
So I've heard that island is infested with tarantulas. From what I heard, if you go visit it, there's mosquito netting, and literally you have to sleep with the mosquito netting because there's a lot of tarantulas there.
Yikes. But I'm sure the cigar is going to be great. I have a sample. I have not smoked it yet. As you said, being a huge fan of the Avo line of cigars, I'm really excited about this one.
It's different. It's going to be different than Avo, but with the rebranding, and we had Scott Colasera on episode 145, they are looking to do a few different things with the Avo brand, and I think people are going to be really happy with this cigar. They call the cigar Syncro because they're trying to synchronize the Nicaraguan characteristics with the Dominican, and I think I could see it in the cigar. I've only had one, but I think I could see where they were getting at with that.
But I like the transition that Davidoff and now Avo has made, where they've traditionally had Dominican cigars, and now they've got an offering in the Nicaraguan, and then you see Davidoff making an offering in the Brazilian. So I like this diversification because Davidoff has a reputation in Avo of making fantastic cigars. So their forays into all of these other countries' tobacco are usually a hit. And I haven't smoked the Robusto in the Davidoff Escurio, which is their Brazilian cigar. The Davidoff Nicaraguan was a home run, in my opinion. Avo rebranding and the adjustments that Scott and team have made have been fantastic for Avo. So the company is doing fantastic things, and it's exciting to see a big company like that being really nimble and trying different things.
Yeah, just one, and I know we're a little off topic of that, but the Camacho American Barrel Aged, which uses a lot of American tobacco, they actually made that in the Dominican Republic. So again, that was a very different Camacho than the Honduran-centric ones we've been using.
And that cigar is very good too.
Yep. That's another one in the middle size, I'd say, the Toro.
Yes. What else you got, Will?
So the second thing is Alec Bradley. It was kind of a quiet story at the trade show this year. They have announced a new installment of the Alec Bradley Fine and Rare. And this one is the Fine and Rare 2015. The blend is called JRS 1086. Don't know quite what that means, but they were a little sketchy on the details as far as what this cigar has, other than they did say it's once again another tobacco that's true to the fine and rare model. It incorporates the 10 different tobaccos in there, and it's a new blend. It's a big cigar. It's a 6.5 by 56, which is the largest ring gauge they've released in the line to date. They're going to come packed in those wooden boxes. Those nice wooden boxes, mahogany like finish, I guess, 2,000 boxes total. So I think we can expect to see those in the fall time frame.
I liked the Alec Bradley Fine and Rare releases when they first hit the stores, both years. The first 2 years. The first 2 years, I really liked it. In fact, I remember rating one extremely high, maybe even Oasis level. But as those cigars aged, they just didn't age well for whatever reason, Will. And maybe that's because the name Fine and Rare, maybe they're using fine and rare tobaccos that already have been aged, and they're meant to be smoked as soon as they come out. So that's kind of my take on Fine and Rare.
Yeah, and I remember specifically the Oasis rating. You did have an Oasis rated one. I think it was the first year. And then it kind of came down. My other theory with that is perhaps with 10 different tobaccos, there's a little too much marrying going on with that.
Yeah, exactly. They do different things with so many different kinds of tobacco.
Yeah.
I remember one of them had this awesome like pumpkin pie kind of. So good. It was so good.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about them is I've had I didn't smoke 2014s. I have one, and I probably is not too late to smoke it. But the nice thing is, you'll get a very good cigar when they come out. It's just I have not. You and I agree we have not seen the aging potential of these. So if you're gonna get them, smoke them and enjoy them. It would be my advice.
Yeah, when this comes out, it's worth at least trying one to see if you're gonna like it or not when it first comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the line has lost a little steam. I mean, when that came out in 2011, it was one of the hottest cigars that was out. So I do think they lost a little steam with it. But usually, I think I haven't seen too many retailers stuck with them. They'll sell, they just haven't sold as fast.
Right. What is the final story for this episode?
So we have actually a non-IPCPR story, but this has just come out this past week. Rocky Patel Premium Cigars has announced that the Ray Lewis Legends 52 cigar is going to debut this October, actually on October 31st at Humidor Cigar Shop in Cockeysville, Maryland. This is an interesting story, Paul, because 2 years ago, let's even go back 3 years ago, Rocky Patel started working with some sports celebrities on cigars. He did a couple of cigars with Gary Sheffield. He also did a cigar that was more of a regional release in the Mid-Atlantic with hockey legend Bernie Parent, who's one of my all-time favorite hockey players. The Bernie Parent cigar was actually very good, and I liked the box press Gary Sheffield cigar a lot. There was a third cigar planned in 2013 for Ray Lewis. And right up until the trade show, this was a pretty anticipated release. And then we learned at the trade show that the release had been pulled. And there was really no reason given other than it seemed like the project was dead and there was no explanation given. And pretty much I thought it was a dead story until this week when it was announced that they are coming out with a Ray Lewis cigar. So this now it's interesting because the blend is actually different than it was 2 years ago.
Interesting.
So the blend is complete because I have the press release from 2 years ago, but the blend is now this time around Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, double binder from Brazil and Mexico, and fillers from Honduras and Nicaragua. They have not disclosed which Rocky Patel factory is doing this. It's the same size as it was announced 2 years ago. It's 6.5 by 50 Toro, $12.50 per cigar. So it's going to be packaged in 10 count boxes. So this is an interesting story, Paul, I think, because I think Ray Lewis is such a polarizing figure.
Yeah,
it's an interesting move made by Rocky Patel.
I'm on the I don't like Ray Lewis kind of bandwagon. I mean, largely because that's just where my sports allegiances line up with being a Patriots fan. Ray Lewis has always been on the opposite side of the team that I'm rooting for. So, but I love Rocky Patel, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, his family, his company, and the cigars that he makes. So maybe I'll just take the band off it and pretend that Ray Lewis has nothing to do with it when I smoke it. Because that inevitably is going to taint my feeling of the cigar, right? But it's not. I mean, Ray Lewis, how much did he have to do with the blending, Will?
I don't know. They didn't really disclose
Yeah.
that. I know with Gary Sheffield, he was. I mean, he's gone down to Nicaragua, but I don't think Gary Sheffield was involved with the blending. But this is. I mean, he's such a. This is not. I'm not. I have no opinion on Ray Lewis. I should say, in this particular case.
Well, if you
But
live in the Maryland area, you probably really like Ray Lewis.
right, and they're launching the cigar there now.
Yeah.
But he's such a polarizing figure, Paul.
Yeah, no, he
That
is.
you know, I mean, I'm kind of curious, if you go into cities, like let's say Rhode Island, where there's a Patriots, how will this cigar do well? I mean, he's
No,
just
I can tell you in New England, I don't even think they should put it on the shelves in New England because anyone who lives in New England, most people are Patriots fans. They're going to walk in their cigar shop, they're going to see a Ray Lewis cigar, and they're going to move right on to the next choice because
Yep.
most people around here don't like Ray Lewis. And again, I mean, it's really nothing other than, I mean, if you go into other places, right, there are a lot of people that don't like the Patriots either. So if there was a Tom Brady cigar, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to buy that cigar just because Tom's name is on it. So, yeah, you're right. It's an interesting thing that Rocky has done here. I don't know. I think if it were me, maybe I would choose someone who is pretty well liked by everyone, more so than a Ray Lewis or a Tom Brady, who are both very polarizing sports figures. But I don't know. Rocky's a lot smarter than I am, so he's obviously got a plan.
the interesting thing is Gary Sheffield was a polarizing figure in New York. He played for both the Yankees and the Mets, and he had his fans and his detractors. And again, I want to put myself somewhere in the middle. I kind of always had the impression he was a kind of an aloof guy. When I interviewed him in 2012, he was terrific. And probably the thing that really shocked me is I saw him at an event a year later, and I said, "Hey Gary, how you doing?" And he called me Coop, and I was amazed that he remembered me. I was
Nice.
so I'll give this cigar a fair shot. Now, the one thing I'll say about this cigar, it's a milder blend. So that's going to be it's not a strong blend. They're saying this is more on the milder side. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I think that rounds out the news for this week. Coop, thanks as always for providing us with some awesome stories to talk about this week, and we'll see everyone next week. Thanks
Take
for
care.
watching.